Guys, what is good? It is your boy Crackback for another video, a vlog video. I just basically am going to talk about a bunch of shit. First and foremost, the year is almost over. In my head, I have been compiling a list of games that I think are exceptional releases for the year. I'm going to start work on my end of the year stuff. I always, do like a best of, worst of, highlights and collecting, I'll just kind of summarize the year in games for me personally. It's a lot of fun for me to do. It's a good chance for me to kind of reflect on a lot of things, and I usually get a pretty good response. So I'm gonna start that. Probably gonna put it out a little earlier this year than I would have otherwise in past years, because I just don't see my opinions like changing a lot between like now and 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably put another vlog or something out in the meantime as well. And then another thing, I don't know, a few videos ago I alluded to the fact that I am fucking bored with YouTube. Okay, so I've talked about this in the past, but I mean, I have a lot of new subscribers that maybe they're not aware. I created my account in 2011 as a troll account. I used to troll YouTube, like big channels, not maliciously. I was never, spewing hate speak or anything, but trolling nonetheless. And I think the word trolling is like kind of confused now with just being a fucking prick. A lot of you guys don't know I troll you guys, man. I troll my subs every fucking video. I'm trolling you. I think some people are aware of that. I think a lot of people aren't. But that's my brand of humor. It's dry. It's lost on a lot of people. Some people get it. And I think my YouTube channel was like born out of being a fucking troll. And when I got bored with trolling people about video games, I decided to start interacting with people about video games. And that's when I started posting videos on my account. I didn't like make another account. I really didn't even know you could have like multiple YouTube accounts until like I've seen like some fucking channels that have like hundreds of dislikes that are apparently all from this fucking lunatic in like Spain. That's a whole nother story. Really weird shit. But yeah, so I got bored with trolling, started making content. Now I'm kind of hit a wall with making content, and to kind of pacify my boredom, I've tried to do some new things. I tried to make like a underrated game series or hidden gem series, and little series things that I tried, and I recorded them and I uploaded them and kept them on private, and I didn't like them, so I deleted them. And it's not that I felt like they were like bad, because to a certain degree all my videos are bad. They're poor quality. I don't have like, a big box over here right there with like gameplay footage or anything. It's ghetto. But I just felt like I wasn't offering anything new to the YouTube ecosystem. It was just me throwing my shit on other piles of shit, and it was like, who fucking cares? So in an attempt to kind of right my boredom, I decided that in 2016 I'm going to do things a little differently, and I'm just going to focus on making vlogs, really. I want to make it a goal to put out one vlog a week for a year with some degree of regularity, and then if the urge strikes, to maybe do like a top 5 video or what's really good video, something like that, but not to try and like force it anymore. And because I just feel like by trying to be overly creative, it ultimately just stifles any chance of creativity. And I don't want to just be like a fucking cookie cutter, like, here's my fucking top 5 shooters on the Genesis. I don't know. Like, right? There's a ton of that shit already, and I'd rather just talk, honestly. And it's easier. It's less work. So yeah. So 2016, a vlog every week for a year. I'm gonna try and put them out on the same day. I'm not sure what day yet. The other thing in 2016 that I want to do is kind of advance what I'm already doing with YouTube. And I hinted at this back in late August in a video, and that is a podcast. A lot of people have since PM'd me, left comments, asked me over Facebook, are you still going to do the podcast? And I had a couple things I had to figure out. Two big hurdles. One was sound quality. The other was a way to record them because I don't have a computer. When I was in university, I was on-campus tutor, so I had like a laptop that the school loaned me, which I got really used to, and then when I kind of had to give that up, it's weird, like now I don't have a computer, and that's why, it used to be I would reply to every comment and stuff, and now I have to use my phone, and it's just really annoying. So it's not that I don't read your comments, it's just that it's harder for me to comment back now, which is really not an excuse. I just need to buckle down and do that. But anyway, back to the podcast. So those were the big two hurdles. Shintai sent me a really nice microphone. I have since fiddled around with it and figured out how it works, and the sound quality on this thing is awesome. That said, the next hurdle was a way to record. I barely have any room on my iPad or like the phone to do that type of thing, unless like they were going to be like 20-30 minutes. So my mother-in-law actually had a really old laptop that she gave me, and it's like riddled with malware. I have to clean it up. It would definitely not be any good for like anything other than maybe browsing the internet, which I think is what she did with it. But I think I just want to take everything off of it unless it absolutely needs it to run, and just find some kind of free program to record. So the two pieces of the puzzle, I think I've got them figured out. It's going to still be pretty bootleg and held together by duct tape. But I think I can do it. And I still haven't approached anybody about appearing or helping out with that. I have a few people in mind that I think would be fucking perfect. I haven't asked those individuals yet. But I think it's going to happen, and the timeline is this: December and January. Test out the stuff, see if it's something I can actually do from a technological standpoint. Get a game plan and a vision for what I want it to be about, and then if it all comes together the way that I think it could, I'm going to shoot for February to put out an episode, and it's something I would want to do monthly. My fear is that when you are grown-ass men talking about video games with other grown-ass men, it's really hard to coordinate times, especially for, like, I would consider this like a hobbyist podcast. If it's like a big podcast with millions of listeners, yeah, it's easy because they're getting a fucking paycheck for it. It's their job. But as like a hobby, I think it would be hard to coordinate. So that's going to be another hurdle. And anybody out there that does a podcast with any sort of regularity, and you have multiple people that contribute to that, my hat's off to you, man. I can see how that's really hard with work and families and, all the other shit that we're juggling. So that is the plan for the end of the year and for early next year. So I hope you guys stay on board, keep rocking with me. I'm going to keep doing my thing. And it's been pretty obvious that I'm pretty disillusioned with the YouTube community and everything right now, but I think it can be good, and I'm going to keep striving for that, and hopefully it'll be interesting again. And the other thing, is like I see a lot of people that I used to like to watch their videos and stuff. They don't even fucking make videos anymore. You know what I mean? I see so many people that just don't even fucking make content anymore, and if they do, it's like, it's like it's like they're doing you a favor or some shit. So I've been unsubscribing frequently, trying to find new people. If you guys got any suggestions for up and coming small channels that are doing their thing, and with some degree of individuality, and not some fucking dick riding fuckboys, definitely leave a comment. Let me know, because every fucking YouTube channel I see is like, I got 200 subs and we made T-shirts, and we have a Patreon. You know, like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, there's that. Another thing I want to talk about is I saw an Ultimate Floyd video, and he was responding to Sporadic Spacebar. It was like top 5 video game series. And what was interesting about that was I never saw the Sporadic Spacebar video in my feed, so I went back to his channel. Sure enough, I missed it. I'm missing a lot of videos in my feed. I think it's something about using the phone. I don't think you get them all, so I've been like going back and checking other people's channels. I'm missing a lot of people's videos, so I feel bad if I haven't commented. 2 reasons: maybe I didn't see the video in the feed, or it never showed up or whatever, and fucking typing on that little ass fucking phone just sucks. I don't have one of those big ass phones that like you have to fucking have a kangaroo pouch to fit. But yeah. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do a response to that video, because it's both the videos are awesome. I really enjoyed watching both of them. And then I was like, you know what, well, it seems like every series that I really like, there's like 10 games that I don't like. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like the title of a game is just the title of a game. I think what it really comes down to is the team, the directors, the writers, things like that. I think it'd be easier for me to make like something like that, like a, you know, like Grasshopper Games and I don't even know, Arkwright Systems. It's just it's hard for me to like be like, this series is really good, every entry is really good, because it's like, I don't know. So I'm not gonna make any video response. Is where I was going with that. Aren't you glad you stuck around? One series though that I did like think, I was like, well, you know what? I can only really think of one bad game in the series out of the ones that I've played. I haven't played the one on the Jaguar. And that is the Raiden, however the fuck it's pronounced. This series, man, what a fucking good series. The only one that I've played that I don't like is the one on Super Nintendo, just because it's so slow. But all the ones on 360 and PS1, the one on PS2, the one I have on Genesis, man, I like them all. They're great. So that was one that was gonna be in the video response, and of course the Soul series as well. But other than that, I really couldn't come up with much more. Like, a lot of stuff that I really liked, there's just a lot of fucking shit. So, yeah, not doing that, sorry. Let's see. Oh, I talked about that Savers store, the thrift store in my neighborhood. I went there, and I fucking struck out, man. I've been like, I found all those Nintendo games and a few Super Nintendo games and stuff. Did pretty good, you know. A few PS1 games, some DS stuff, you know. I found a bunch of stuff. I showed most of it, unless I sold it in my last video. But I've been going back since bright and early, man, and fucking nothing. It's weird. It's like, I was like, man, I found this awesome store. They're gonna have stuff there all the time. You know, it's just sometimes the fucking stars have to align, apparently, to fucking find stuff at a thrift store. But I was driving home from there, and I saw a pawn shop that looks super sketchy, that I've been meaning to stop at for a while. It's one of the ones that has like a fucking picture of like a diamond and like a dollar sign in the window, you know, like like the type of place you go if you probably like smoke a lot of crack, and you know, to get money, not to shop. So I went in there and I was looking around. I didn't really see much. More DVDs. Like, I've never seen so many DVDs. Apparently people just don't fucking care about DVDs anymore. I actually bought a DVD when I was there for $1, Touching the Void, because I lost my copy. But I saw a box of cocaine cases, those white cases, and it was all stuff they were just trying to blow out. And I don't know how I like didn't see it on my way in. I must have just walked right past it going towards the case. And there was some Wii games in the case, but you know, first party Nintendo, like Mario, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, all that stuff, and they wanted like $30. It was like Jesus. But on the way out, I saw that bin of the Wii stuff, and it was just stuff they were trying to blow out. And for the most part, it was a lot of crap. They wanted $1 a game. I ended up picking up 7 games and got them all for $5. 2 are already gone. Traded them in the same day to GameStop. And I do want to talk about what I put the credit towards. But for $5, I did end up getting to keep 5 games, and like I said, the other 2 games went towards a pre-order at GameStop. So, what did I find in this? Nothing great. Like, I wouldn't be excited if I were you. But all stuff that I was kind of happy to pick up to some degree. Saint. What the fuck is this? I heard this game is terrible. This is a shooter. Like a shoot 'em up, I guess. But it says there's extra 3D scrolling levels. So is it like a 3D shooter? I don't even know. I thought it was a side-scrolling shooter. I heard this game is awful. And it's actually a game I wanted. It's like on my wants list because I want bad games apparently. But I just wanted it because it's a shooter. I just wanted to give it a shot. I think you can get it like GameStop for $1 if you can find it. Which brings up another thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed on the GameStop app. But if you search for Wii games that are like under a certain price, I think it's like $3.99. It says online only. So they're phasing out cheap Wii games at GameStop. Pretty soon you're not going to be able to buy them there. You're just going to be able to purchase them maybe from their online distribution, and then if it's going to have a case or a manual is all, like pissing in the wind, who fucking knows. So if there's cheap Wii games you want at GameStop, I would get out there and start trying to find them now because they're phasing them out. But anyway, Saint, a shooter, grab that just because it's something I wanted to try. This is a double. I just grabbed it because it's another shooter and it's really bad. I've actually played this one, not this particular copy, but the first time I found the game. It's Ocean Commander. I think this might have come out or came out on the PS2 as well. I'm not certain about that, but I think so. This game is really bad. It's just not fun. Well, this game is a game I actually like. I haven't finished it, and again, this is another double, but, when I see really cheap Wii games, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just get them. These are things that, honestly, I think the Wii is going to be a really desirable system down the road, and a lot of these games I think are going to be pretty obscure. And this is one of those games. Curse Mountain, one of the few kind of survival horror games on the system. I started this game, and I feel like I was pretty close to the end, but it just got really fucking hard and frustrating. But I thought the story was cool. I thought it kind of had an interesting premise. But yeah, I didn't finish it, and that's in part due to the controls. But yeah, happy to get that. All these games obviously are complete, or I would have left them. And the last 2 are maybe the most interesting. None of these games are interesting. I got the Conduit, the special edition here, the glossy cover. Kind of cool. It did come with the limited edition concept art book as well as the manual. And this is a game I've actually played. I actually used to own this game, but I don't know what happened to it. And it wasn't bad for a first-person shooter. It kind of controls like the Metroid Prime games. And it says here that it has Wii Speak, but I think that was just for, I guess it was for online. I don't remember that. But, the servers for these are down, so you can't play it online anymore. It was published by Sega, and that's one of the reasons I wanted it. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool just to have it. And the main reason that I grabbed the first one is because they also had the second one. Again, the limited edition with the glossy cover, and this one also has an art book on the inside. I'm not going to take it out. I mean, it's right there under the manual. So, kind of cool, I guess. None of these games are anything special. In fact, they're all really relatively cheap. You can get all these games for a couple bucks if you're interested. The only one that it really has any value is this one. I looked this up on eBay. Surprisingly enough, this version with the art book sells for like 20 to 30 bucks, depending on the day. So yeah, I was happy to grab all of those. Just some kind of weird shit at the pawn shop. Kind of just made the trip not completely worthless. But I did mention there was a couple games that I picked up to take to GameStop. Those games were Wii Sports and Wii Party. Both trade in pretty well, especially Wii Party. I had no idea that game traded in for so much. I don't even know what the game is, honestly. Not sure what kind of party it is exactly. There's probably cocaine and hookers. But anyway, yeah, I traded those games in, and the reason I didn't get cash is because I wanted to put them towards something that I'm really actually excited that it exists. Like last year, maybe I made a video about like the top 5 games I would like to see an HD remaster to. It was in like the height of, it seemed like every week it seemed like a PS3 game was being announced to be ported to the PS4. And personally, I was annoyed. I was like, do we really need God of War 3 fucking remaster, like Dishonor remaster? You know what I mean? It just seems so trivial to me and like uninteresting. So there was like a list of games like that I would love to see HD remakes of, like the whole Suikoden series and Digital Devil Saga, you know, all this cool stuff that's just kind of like left to rot, and all these like, you know, AAA games that are already polished and on modern systems with trophies and shit are getting remade. Like, who fucking cares? But one of the games that was on that list, I never published this video because it was bad, was Odin Sphere, one of my fucking favorite games on the PS2. I really, really like this game a lot. And sure enough, it is getting a modern release on PS3 and PS Vita and PS4. And there's this really crazy edition that's coming out with like an art book and a special case and fucking fancy shit. Well, anyway, I figured I would use whatever stuff I can find to hustle to go towards that. So I ended up pre-ordering that with those 2 games I just mentioned, Wii Sports, Wii Party. And yeah, I'm actually really excited about that. When I saw the announcement, I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool. And it's cool to see something from that era get an HD remake. So I would love to see that do really well. I don't think it's going to. The fact that you can even still pre-order the special edition, I think, is kind of telling of it's not really selling well. I mean, unless it's just like the only things that sell out are Nintendo special editions because they only make enough for the resellers to fucking, you know, fund their vacations. But yeah, I would love to see that do really well and like other interesting games get an HD remake. Can you imagine like a Haunting Ground like HD remake? That would be fucking awesome. And it would drive the fucking price of that game down, and I would just laugh at all the fucking motherfuckers spending like $90 on the shit. I mean, it's worth it. No, I don't want to say it's worth it. It's an awesome game, and it's worth, you know, paying, I think, $60-$70. But these games are getting fucking outrageous. And, yeah, I just think it would be cool to see some more good remakes of just, you know, interesting kind of obscure shit instead of fucking the same franchises. It's like, I don't know. If fucking Oblivion comes out on PS4, I'm gonna fucking vomit. Yeah. And I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about was how fickle the video game secondary market is, and just how it's just totally unpredictable. I was in a retail store. I didn't pick anything up, but I was in there because of my last blowout in a retail store. I told one of my friends out here that I've met that's also into video games. You know, I was like, listen, did you ever go to the store? Like, this is what happened. He's like, that store's fucking known for fuckery, and he suggested another one that's a bit further of a drive, but he was like, you know, I'm gonna go out there if you want to tag along. So I was like, sure, I'll just come and see what's good. And I didn't buy anything because I really didn't have anything to trade in at the time, but I'm gonna get some stuff together to trade some stuff in because they had some pretty decent deals there, and seemed like a decent store. But one thing that I saw that I just made me really scratch my head was this game. They had Fallout Brotherhood of Steel on the PlayStation 2, and they had a copy there, case and disc, no manual. They wanted $35 for it. And I thought that was really a stretch. I thought that was pretty bizarre. I got this game for, I think, $7.99, maybe like 8 months ago. And I honestly, I thought that was like kind of overpaying. But I was like, they just must be hoping that somebody comes in that's all high on PlayStation or high on Fallout 4 and sees it and like just buys it. Like, you know what I mean? Just I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Just buys it impulsively. Just impulsively buys it. It's like I'm riding the fucking Fallout 4 wave. Because I was like, that can't be right. You know, like I just said, I just bought the game for like $8 or $9 or something like 8 months ago. So when I got home, I decided to look it up on eBay, and I fucking could not believe what I saw. This game is now selling for like $29 to like $35. Like kind of a lot. There's a lot of completed listings. Most of them buy it nows. The higher ones were buy it nows. But I think that's really fucking weird. This isn't a game that I see a lot, so it's not like it's like a really common game. I don't think that it's like a rare game. But I don't think it's like it's not a game you see at every video game store. It's not fucking A Bug's Life. But I just think that shows how volatile the market is right now. That when a game gets another game in the series, the old ones can just fucking start to skyrocket. And we saw that with Shenmue. And I think it's a trend that's going to continue because I think a lot of people are just going to want to go back and play the old games. I mean, it's obvious, right? Like, it's not like I'm telling you something you can't understand. A game gets announced in an old series, the old ones are going to become more sought after. But does that make them more valuable? In the terms of supply and demand, like, yeah, I guess so. But on what planet is this a fucking $35 game? I think you would have to be on the pipe to pay $35 for this game. And I could see it happening with Psychonauts. Maybe even the 360 copies of Rez. Now something like Ni no Kuni, and I'm strictly talking about the PlayStation Experience announcements right now. Something like Ni no Kuni, I don't think that game's ever going to become a sought-after game. I think there's versions of the game that might be, you know, like the Wizards Edition, obviously, but there was just so fucking many of them. You know, like everybody bought that game. Greatest hits versions fucking everywhere, right? Like, just because there's Ni no Kuni 2, I don't think it means that Ni no Kuni is going to be a sought-after game. Like, don't get it twisted. But when in a game that maybe first appeared and hasn't appeared since something like the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2 gets a reimagining or some sort of sequel or prequel or whatever, I just think this is just going to keep happening. Like for the unforeseeable future, unfortunately. So if the takeaway from that is if there's interesting games that you like want to get on like the PS2 or the Xbox, the original Xbox or something, I would fucking recommend that you just get them now. You know what I mean? Because it's like movies, man. I feel like games are going to follow movies. Like, you know, most of the movies that are being made now are remakes, and I feel like a lot of games that are going to start coming out, I mean, look at PlayStation 4, half the fucking library is stuff that exists on other shit. and I think a lot of games are going to start getting reboots and things of that nature, and it's going to affect these old games, man, and it's going to be weird. It's a fucking weird time to be into video games, from a collecting standpoint, in my opinion. Now, I have some theories about some games that will have similar trajectories, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But if that's something you're interested in, man, drop me a line. I'd love to pick your brain as well about it. But I think this video has gone on long enough for the time being. And yeah, that's it for me. Craig out.